Hey, 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 what's going on, good people? What is going on? I am Rochelle T. Parks. I am your health motivator. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Mindset Talks. We have with us a powerful speaker today, a guest speaker today. We have Miss Esther Abwe. Woo, 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 woo. What's going on, Esther? Yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah. And of course, we have
Michael. How are you
Mr.
guys?
Michael L. Parks, aka Pops. Yes. It's going to be great. How you doing, Esther?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Rochelle.
Well, you look very well, too. You look very well, Esther. This is good. This is good. Esther, we're so grateful to you that you decided to come on and share your story, right? That's why we're here, just to share your story. And yes. And a powerful story it is. And so it's a long way from those Bond for God days, isn't it? Esther,
yeah.
Esther
we know about those Bond for God days. Oh my God.
She talked about my scale. She talked about everything. I said, Esther, no. She said, Rochelle, I'm doing everything. I tell you, I'm doing everything. I'm not eating. I said, okay, Esther. Okay. So I tell you, I'm super excited for you. I'm proud of you. Just sticking with it, sticking with it. And so so Esther, if you could just tell the people your story, like where did you start? Like why did you start? Where did you start? Just in your own words.
So I started this program, as Rochelle said. I had been on the Bot for God program for several times, and I would follow the program, and I would probably lose between, I think I lost the most, I got close to 10 pounds at once, but mostly it was between 5 and 7 pounds. Mm-hmm. And I had set a target to lose 30 pounds because really my goal was, if I could lose weight, maybe it will have some impact on my type 2 diabetes. And I wasn't reaching that goal. However, of course, with COVID, we couldn't sign up for another Bond for God this spring.
Right.
And I was roaming around on Facebook, which I don't do terribly often, and I came across this information regarding Michael having had his encounter with type 2 diabetes. And then I watched a few of the videos and heard the messages from other people who had been on the program. And I thought, well, maybe I need to give it a try, because although I wanted to lose weight, my goal really was to get off that metformin.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes back in April of 2013. And after I had been on some corticosteroid treatment, that I was being treated for a problem, and the doctor, I had seen my ophthalmologist. I'd been seeing my ophthalmologist for those first 4 months, mm-hmm. and seen me a week prior. And this was around Easter in April of 2013. My daughter was visiting. We went into the store, and I could not see the signs, the overhead signs telling, what is in the various aisles. Mm-hmm. I thought, that's strange. I was in here and I could see everything. So I went back to my ophthalmologist and I said, I was in the store and I couldn't see. And he said, but when he checked my vision when I was there, like just a week before, he said, you were seeing fine. Some inflammatory process going on with my eye, which he was treating. So when he saw that, he said, right away, go see your primary care physician, because all I can think of is that this might be diabetes. Fortunately for me, the primary care was in the same building. So I left his office, went straight upstairs. She checked my blood sugar, and my blood sugar result came back like 500 and something.
Whoa.
I had never had a high blood sugar. although diabetes does run in my family. So her response to me was that because I had been on the corticosteroid, that it put me into diabetes. But she said, you probably would have developed type 2 diabetes anyway. This just kicked it off a lot faster. So that's how I was diagnosed. And so I was put on metformin, 500 milligrams twice a day, which I had been taking for a lengthy, well, from all that time until I entered the videos that you all had put up earlier this year. And so I got in touch with you, and I think in May, end of May, June, something like that. And June 13th was the date that I embarked on the program with you all. Yes. And, you know, at first, you know, the program said you could eat, you know, vegetables, you just make sure not too much fat, this and that, and some small amount of protein. And that's what I was doing. And then, of course, maintaining the eating time, the time frame in which I was supposed to eat. So starting to eat at 10 and by 6. And I was trying to accomplish that. But you guys came back and said, Esther, I think you're going to have to eat just vegan, right? And I said, I don't know how I'm going to do that because I'm used to eating hot food. I don't know how I'm going to eat cold. Yeah, because you said raw vegetables. I said, I don't know how I'm going to do that. However, I did give it a try, and I was doing all right. And then, of course, the physical activity as well. So incorporating walking twice a day, 45 to 1 hour twice a day, and I incorporated that. However, when I would go out to walk, while I was following now, not eating the hot food and eating salads and so forth, I sometimes would feel a little bit like headache. And I kind of got a little bit anxious at once because I would go out walking in the morning by myself. In the evenings, my husband walked with me. And so I thought, I don't know if I feel comfortable walking on my own, because if I feel lightheaded, anything happens, I might not be able to get back home. So at that point, you said, okay, Esther, maybe you need to reintroduce a bit of protein in your morning or mid-morning meal, which would be the 10 o'clock meal. And so when I did that, I felt a lot better.
Okay. Let me stop you right there, Esther. Because we got to unpack this. Let me stop you right there. So I just want to make sure I understood what you're saying. So you're saying that because you were doing the treatment, the corticosteroid treatment, that the doctor is saying that that's what expedited.
Yeah.
What they considered to be the inevitable.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
However, I want to stop right there. So the inevitable is not about the family history. The inevitable is about the lifestyle that Esther was living.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Esther. So, because I'll just go back to just go back to Bye for God, right?
Yeah.
The struggle was always carbs. The struggle was
bread.
That's carbs. Yeah. The struggle was carbs, right?
Yeah.
Sugar. The struggle was sugar, which is the struggle for many people. And so what I don't want people to think is that because they have a family history of diabetes, that they're doomed for diabetes, right? Because our lifestyle, speaks volumes, you know, what we do every day.
Yeah.
So I just want to put that out there. And when anybody
Sure.
leaves, say, see, there it is, because my mother and my grandmother. So there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. And we know that's not the case. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't be here today. You'd still be diabetic if that was the case, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we just changed some things. So I just wanted to clear that up. Sure. Before I go, you want to throw something on that, Pops? You want to add something?
Yeah, I was going to address it, but you already hit it up, because the thing is, I just want to let her get it out. And the thing is, this is all about her. This time is about her. So I just want to give her opportunity to say what she had to say. But you basically circle back and grab it, because like I was going to say the same thing. There's no need for me to add to it. So
yeah. Okay. All right. So
and
go ahead,
you're right. You're right, because when I was on Bots for God, everybody knows that my weakness was bread.
And them sampling, going sampling with those samples.
So I'm cognizant of your time, so I don't want to stray away from.
Yes, go ahead, Esther.
But yes, it was bread, and yes, I would go. I had my favorite store where I would go, and I would circle around through the bread section. And they always had something really attractive. And sometimes I would just circle just to smell it and keep going. Or sometimes I would give in. And yes, that one year where I did the Irish bread, forgot how they call it. And I tried all the different stores that had this particular bread. I didn't struggle with things that as a person with a heritage of Caribbean and being married to a West African, we tend to eat rice quite a bit, but I didn't struggle with rice as much. I really didn't need to eat a lot of rice, and so I could avoid that, but it was the bread. And anyway, I was able, and I had started out actually, before I went to just eating vegan, I had started out using the Ezekiel bread, but then once you cautioned me, I stepped back from that. And so I continued to have salads, which I would incorporate broccoli, and I did put cauliflower, all lettuce, all of those things, so that I could have enough of that in me so I wouldn't be starved. And I remember earlier on, because I was coping at work with dealing with COVID, I would sometimes not get away on time to eat before 6 o'clock. And the one day, Pop said, or was it you? I can't remember, Rochelle. One of you told me, hey, it was Pops. He said, Esther, you're about to eat right now, and it was like 5 after 6. He said, I think you got to put that away at
that was me.
And I said, oh my goodness, how am I going to get through the night with just having had one meal? But anyway, I drank a lot of hot water, and that's the other thing that helps me, because I struggle with drinking water as well, and I still do. But I would drink hot water.
Yeah. And
so that helped me make my stomach feel like something was going into it, and I could avoid having to eat anything. And I did make it.
Yeah.
And I've done that a few times. One meal a day. Just recently I did, because I just had too many things going on, and I couldn't get to start eating between 10 and 11, and I made it eating around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and I was able to get through the night with just one meal. But to be honest, I do feel like I need my 2 meals. And so I stick to the salad. Yeah. So long story short, when I embarked on that program and I went with just the vegan and a bit of protein, within 2 weeks I had lost 20 pounds.
Oh,
that scared me. that scared me because remember I said to you, hey, you know, normally, because in my background, I'm a healthcare provider, I'm a healthcare person, and I would do wellness presentations and things like that. And I would tell people like, you know, it's unhealthy for you to be trying to lose more than 2.5 pounds in a week. But here was I in 2 weeks, I'd lost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And so I can't remember what you told me then, but anyway, so I had added my protein so I could feel better when I go out to walk and so forth, and that did help me really. And then I kept going with the salads a couple of times a day and trying to get my water in. And I sat there so I started out at 175. And in that 2 weeks, I had lost 175. Yeah, so I had got down to 155. I got that for a bit, even though I was doing my walking and what have you. And then gradually, I continued the program, continued the activity, continued eating the way I was eating. And I got down to, by the end of the program, I had lost the 30 pounds. That was my original target, even when I was on body.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now tell us when did you stop the medication, Esther?
I stopped the medication right away. Before I actually started the program, I had stopped the medication for some other reason. So when I got started with you all, I didn't resume it.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah. You had just stopped. It for some reason.
Yeah. And I did talk to my doctor because I had a follow-up appointment with her in the interim. And I showed her my results and my blood sugar readings and so forth and told her what I was doing. And she said, sure, keep going with it. Because my goal was to get off that metformin. The metformin, it came out through my pores, you know, my breath, everything. And I really do not like to be on medication. So I think she had even reduced me to 1 a day or something like that. But then I got off it and I have remained off it. And my blood sugars have been under 100 most of the time. Okay.
That's great.
Miss Esther, let me refresh your memory because I remember this vividly. I know that you had stopped taking the medication early into the program, but the thing that I remember was you had just gotten back on it and you were taking it. I don't know how long, maybe a week or two. And what happened was you had forgot to take your dose.
Yes.
You forgot to take your dose.
You're right.
And then you, by the time, you know, I guess the next day hit, your numbers were low. And I was like, you don't need to, you know, if your numbers are already low, there is no need to take them again. And then we were kind of treading lightly because you was like, well, let me see. And then we went into that next day not taking it. And then the next day your stuff was still down. And that was it. We didn't look back. Because I was like saying, this is good, Miss Esther. It's good that you forget. Exactly. I'm glad you forget.
I remember that. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's funny in a good way that you forgot because it was no need to be concerned about it because your numbers were so good. So now if your numbers were high, it probably would have triggered, I need to take my medication. Right. But because they were low, it's like it didn't even cross your mind. And plus you were distracted at work. So you weren't thinking about it anyway. So it worked out pretty good. You know, so
since then I have not taken any metformin. And when I saw my doc, I had promised to send you my results. I looked them up today actually. I saw my doctor on October 8th.
October 8th,
and my hemoglobin A1C was 5.5.
Boom. Okay, now where was it? Where did you start? Where was it in the
I
beginning?
started off, it would be like 6.7.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise God.
So in 90 days, it goes from 6.7 to 5.5. Goes from diabetic to normal.
Yeah.
Praise
Yes.
God, Miss Esther.
Yeah.
Yes. And 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 30 pounds. 30 pounds down and from diabetic to normal in 90 days.
Yeah.
Praise God. Praise God.
That's to God be the glory. That's what I'll say to that. To God be the glory.
So what I can tell you,
Go ahead.
Yesterday, I saw my ophthalmologist because, as you're aware, I was having problems with my eye over a lengthy period of time. And she had not seen me since maybe 7 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so as soon as she walked in, she said, "Looks like you lost weight." I said, "Yes." "Are you okay? Are you all right?" I said, "Yes." I was so focused on checking out my eye because my eye is being problematic, as you know. Mm-hmm. And so I totally forgot to tell her the reason why I had lost this weight is because I was trying to get off my metformin. Uh-huh. And usually they go through my medications, and somehow or other, I had seen another doctor at another location for this practice, and they knew that I was off my medication, so they had taken it off. So it didn't come up for her, and I didn't remember to mention it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to touch upon something that you said earlier. Actually, you touched on it twice about losing the weight, right? And I remember when you first started talking here on this broadcast, you had said that you wanted to lose weight because you thought it would impact your type 2 diabetes when you went to the Bar for God, and then that was kind of like one of the reasons why you wanted to do the program. Yes. And so one of the things that I want to bring home or highlight is the doctors. You know, there's a place for them, and I thank God for them, because if they were not there, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now, because I needed modern medicine to recover and to get my stuff normalized when I went to the emergency room. Yeah. But a lot of the things that they say with regard to managing or I'm just gonna say managing type 2 diabetes, they say that you have to lose weight in order to drop your blood sugars. And that's kind of reversed from my experience, in my own personal experience, and in my experience with helping all the people that we helped since I left the hospital. It's really, you have to manage your blood sugars in order to lose weight. Right. So the thing is, in the process of us managing our blood sugars, our bodies from a metabolic standpoint start working the way they were supposed to, and then the excess weight just fell off. Yes. But with a lot of times, release. But what people do, they hear the doctor, and like I said, God bless, thank you to doctor. They doctors say you got to lose weight, but that's all they say. They just say you got to lose weight, and then it's left up to the patient to figure out how they're going to lose weight. Right. And then all they're doing is trying to lose weight, but they're not losing it in the I'm gonna say in the right way, but they're not losing it in the most effective way. Right. Because typically people just try to lose weight by having a calorie deficit. Yeah. But really, this is metabolic. So when the body works the way it's supposed to, the excess weight can't live there. It just can't stay. It just has to go. And so that's what I want to highlight. And so that's the reason why you're sitting here with your A1C was 5.5 in the normal range, because you stuck with the program and you I won't even say put up with us, because you're a really good client. You're compliant. You're compliant, and you listen. You always answer our calls. You know, and it's like, what more can we ask for? And Absolutely. We make corrections, and you go along with them. Sometimes you kick and scream a little bit. Okay.
Kicking and screaming. That's true. Because I still like my hot food.
So what does your husband say about your transformation?
Okay, so my husband has always, he doesn't cook. I do the cooking. eats what I cook.
Right.
Even yesterday, he told my daughter, I don't know what it is I cook, but he says, oh, my daughter, I was saying to her, I needed to purchase this chair, but I would have to put it together. And she said, Mom, I got a chair. You can put that together. I said, remember, you took tech, but I took, how do they say? When I grew up, they called it home ec. Home ec, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then he piped up and said, and her cooking is very good. Anyway,
no complaints from him. Yeah.
No. So he has always gone along with the program with me, even when I was doing Bot.
Even in Bot for God, I remember.
Yeah. And he would go to his cardiologist, and she would say, "Oh, Mr. Obwe, you lost such and such." She said, and I would say to him, "I hope you told her it's because you be eating what I'm eating." Anyway, to answer your question, on this program, there were times when, like I said, I was feeling like, gosh, I'm eating this salad. Can I keep doing this? He said, well, it's making a difference, so you might as well just keep at it.
Yeah.
He's been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So he has lost some weight himself. He
Praise God.
Diabetes, thankfully. I don't think he would mind me sharing with you that the reason he was seeing the cardiologist was because of his cholesterol, and his cholesterol is high. HDL cholesterol is very good, and
praise God, on the overflow.
Yeah, on the overflow. He got
Right,
it on the overflow. Look at that.
I keep saying to him, I hope you're telling your cardiologist it's because of your wife, your father.
Look at that. Oh, you have
cardiologist, health, cardiac issues in my family as well. So high blood pressure, stroke, that was scare. And I told you that, Rochelle, that my dad had been diabetic and hypertensive, and that's really what took his life. And then my mom, she also had, before she passed, she had a few heart attacks as well. So I was originally more focused on the cardiac aspect of my physical activity and my eating style, more so than the diabetes. But it all comes together because, as we all know, diabetes is a systemic health issue that can very much affect your cardiac function. So
absolutely. So we have a phrase we say: when you control your blood sugars, you control your life. Like when you fix that, everything else just kind of auto-corrects. It just kind of falls in line. And so I just can't say enough that for those that are watching, please don't buy into the notion that this runs in your family. Okay, you can make some changes. You can change because this is proof right here with Miss Esther. It's proof, and she said, parents, have chronic illness, strokes, heart attacks, lives are they fell prey to to these diseases, and she was diabetic, and look, boom, changed. Just make some changes, and that's all it takes. It's just we must make changes. I say it's not a diabetic gene. There is a gene, and we call it the familial gene, right? So if you continue to do that which is familiar to you, then you'll have what they had. Chances are, it's a great chance. And so a lot of times people, I'm from Texas. I'm from the South, so I know we ate a lot of fried food, a lot of soda, a lot of sugar. And so I know it's only by the grace of God that I'm not diabetic or high blood pressure. But had I continued on that way, I'm thinking I would be, but I made changes. And so, and anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And we can reverse it in a short period of time.
Eating bread.
You say you haven't?
I'm not eating bread. my husband was looking around for bread today because he hasn't been eating bread either. And he says, where's that special bread you used to have? And we had the Ezekiel bread and it was in the freezer for months.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, well, I'm not eating it. If you want it, you can eat it up. So he ended up in the interim. And then he was looking to say he wanted some bread today. And I said, I don't have any bread.
Wow, look at that.
That's great. That's great.
That's awesome, Esther. Yeah. That is awesome. I tell you, you look great. You I mean, you just glowing, and you know. So tell me, did you have to go shopping, or are you just shopping in the back of the closet, or what? What'd you do with your clothes? Because 30 pounds, I mean, that's a lot.
No, I tried on my pants. They're all too big. You know, I sew, but I don't have time to sew, and I kind of took in some of the ones I could take in. But I've got a lot of clothes that downstairs. I've got to sort them out and give them away or whatever. Now, I do have a daughter who has a problem with obesity. And I said, well, some of the nicer looking, younger looking stuff, I'll hang on as she loses some weight. She'll probably get into them. But I had to go out and buy clothes.
Yeah.
And I try not to spend too much money on clothes. So I go and I look when there's a special. I had to buy a suit. My daughter and I had bought some suits online before, or maybe just before I started the program.
Oh boy.
And then of course, you know, with COVID, they weren't letting you return things. So
right.
I put on this, it was too big. It was like a size 40 and it was too big. So I am in a size 10 now.
Oh, yes.
So I had to buy new clothes. And every time I put on a new one, my husband said, when did you get that? That looks pretty good on you.
So basically,
I don't spend a lot of money, but I do need a new wardrobe. So when I go and I see a deal, I pick it up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, Miss Esther, you're saying that people shouldn't get in the program if they don't want to buy more clothes.
You have to be prepared that if they stick with the program, it's going to be effective. And one of the I guess side effects of that is that you're going to need a new wardrobe.
Yeah,
that is true. Absolutely. Listen, everybody that does it, that's the case. I mean, it started, you know, with Pops and then me. Like I had to. You see, in our bedroom, I just took everything out. I just took it. It was too much to kind of. I just took everything off. Just took the hanger and everything. So it's about 3 feet high, full of clothes that I can't wear.
That's
true.
You
know. And so we all had to buy clothes. All the clients, they had to go buy. Some people are shopping in the back of the closet, but some people they're at the end of the wall. Like that, I can't go any further. But there's no more room. I got to go to the store. You know. So I had nothing. I didn't have anything.
There are some things that, you know, you sometimes buy clothing that kind of, if you keep them long enough, they'll come back into fashion. I do. I have a couple of things that I had for a while and I was able to get back into them, but mostly I've had to buy new clothing.
So my next question, Miss Esther, is the accountability. How do you feel about the level of accountability that you received?
Oh my gosh. So you said this is extreme accountability, and it is extreme accountability. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Either you are prepared to stick with it and see the results, or I know when I started out, like you all reminded me a few times while I was on the program that I was making a little bit of changes here and there.
Tweaks.
You call them tweaks, yes.
I said, Esther just tweaking the whole program. The whole program is a tweak.
So at the point that I stopped tweaking and I got serious, and then I said, okay, now I'm here. What do I do? He said, well, you already tweaked it. You're kind of doing this in reverse. But at any rate, I did accomplish the program, and it has made a difference because, of course, it's a lifestyle change too.
Absolutely.
So I actually I make my salads. I have a big bowl, and I make my salads the night before. And so enough that I can have a couple of those in a day. If I'm going to work, I'm teleworking, but like tomorrow I'm going to go into the office. So I carry 2 containers so that before I leave the office, because I will finish at 5, before I hit the road, I will have eaten, and then I go get on the train. If I drive in, then sometimes if I drive in, I'm eating while I'm coming home, which is not a good thing, but I try to get in that time frame.
That's good.
The only problem that I've had, and since we're trying to be transparent here, is that since the weather, we had some bad rainy weather there for a bit, and that hampered my walking. And then, of course, the light, before the clocks went back, it was darker later in the morning and early in the evening. And because of my work, I couldn't get my exercise in the way I had been doing, because I was fastidious about doing my morning and evening. Sometimes you would see me, Rochelle saw me a few times that I walk by the church at 8 o'clock in the morning and do my walk, So that is something that we're both grappling with, because now it's a bit lighter in the mornings. I can walk. But if you don't get out by 5 o'clock, it is dark. It's getting dark. So I had mentioned to you that I'm looking into getting a treadmill so I can do my walking in the basement on the treadmill.
Oh, let me send. I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link to a treadmill. I got something for you, or a bike. I'll send you both of the links so you could take a look at them.
Yeah.
That's great, Esther. I'm excited just to hear you talk about the lifestyle. So the things that we suggested about prepping the night before, taking it in to work, all those things. That's what it has to be, And that's stuff that people don't want to do, but that's what's required.
Sometimes I'm so tired, I fall asleep on the sofa, and then I wake up and it's after midnight, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta make my salad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I will do it, or I'll get up early in the morning and do it. Depends on how tired I am.
Yeah,
that's great. This is music to my ears. Just to hear that you finished when did you finish?
June,
August, September. And so here we are 2 months later, and you're still doing it. It's a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. So Esther, so we can wrap it up here. What would you say, because people are watching, right? So what do you say to the person who is diabetic and they're afraid, they're taking the metformin or the insulin or whatever, and they're kind of wishy-washy, they're on the fence? What would you what type of words would you offer to them?
Now, here's what I would say. If they're anxious about it, they're going to have their conversation with you and what have you. I was not on insulin. I was on metformin. So from my point of view, if I was on insulin, I would have engaged my doctor before I started. But I was on metformin. And of course, whether I'm on metformin or not, I continue to monitor my blood sugar, because you have to do that. So I can see where I'm at. And if there's a problem, I can deal with it myself or deal it with my doctor or what have you. So I was a bit anxious. Although I had stopped taking the medication, I was a bit anxious because I worried a bit. And I think people who are on insulin probably would worry more. When my blood sugars, sometimes my blood sugars got down to 80 something, 85. It was down to about 76 or so a few times. And I got a little bit concerned. So for me, I know, and as working with you all, that I can add a bit of protein to my 10 o'clock meal or morning meal, whatever that is. So I would say, for me personally, I was anxious when my blood sugars were lower than the 80s. but I felt like I could still have control of that. So I think working with you, educating themselves about the program, monitoring their blood sugars, and if they're really anxious, particularly if they're insulin, then I would say have the conversation with their doctor. Michael, you know that you had the conversation with your doctor.
Right.
And you were going to try to get off your insulin.
Right.
And so that's where I stand on that. But I was anxious. I worked with you all. I engaged my doctor later on, and I was fine. I just knew that if I was having an issue, I would send you all a message and say, hey, Rochelle, here's what's happening. I went out there this morning and I felt like I was gonna make it. And you said, okay, sounds like you need to eat some more protein. So we agreed that I would eat the protein in the morning and not in the evening, you know, and that really helped me. But this is an individual thing. So I think the person has to monitor, be very fastidious about monitoring. I know we monitor upon rising, before we eat, after we eat. It's a lot of monitoring. And especially if you're pricking your finger like I do. My doctor said, oh, you only ought to monitor twice a day. That was the other thing, because I was concerned about my my blood sugar monitor, and I'm still using that, but I got a new one now. So that would be what I would say, that they need to be open if they have concerns that you're working and you're walking alongside them. Have a conversation with you and Michael, and I'm sure that if there was a real issue, you would be saying, see their doctor. So that's where I stand.
Let me coattail on that for a second, because the doctor piece is very important, and this is the time for the disclaimer. Me and Rochelle are not doctors, and we don't play them on TV. Okay,
right.
So we're not doctors.
Right.
We're just people. Well, I'm a person who actually went through this stuff.
Yes.
And so I can speak directly to it from the diabetic standpoint.
Of course.
Now, one of the things that we say is everybody is different and every body is different. So your body is different from mine. Okay.
Yes.
But your life is different from mine too.
Yes.
But the one thing that we can agree on is that since these bodies are human, they work the same way. You eat food, it gets metabolized, it turns into glucose. The glucose is in your blood. It triggers something from the pancreas to send insulin to get the glucose from the sugar from the blood, takes the sugar out of the blood, put it in the cells for energy. That's how the body works. So from a metabolic standpoint, we improve the metabolism by exercising, and we improve our overall health from eating, putting the right things in our body. And so that's something that we should do regardless. So you don't necessarily have to. I don't think you have to consult a doctor to eat right. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, when you're dealing with medications, you know, I think it's important for each individual person to be educated. Okay. I also, I'm saying this very cautiously, that I know your healthcare is your responsibility, not the doctors. The doctors make recommendations just like we make recommendations. Only difference is they have a white coat and sheepskin on their wall. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they make the recommendation, and because they got the white coat and the sheepskin on the wall, people are more inclined to be in alignment with what they say. But they still have to educate themselves, because if they don't, then they'll just blindly accept what the doctors say and then just do whatever. And then meanwhile, if doctors are telling them that you're going to be on medications for the rest of your life, like I was told, I would still be on medication now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Exactly.
So it's people just need to. It's hard, you know. It's hard because there's so much information out there, and people, they don't know who to believe, who to listen to. I get it, but I'm just enough people like you, Miss Esther, who come on and tell your story. I told my story first back in May. It's the people that's before you that's been telling the story, and it's the same message. It's the same message, different person. So hopefully in doing these mindset talks, if people are listening over and over again to different weeks and they're on the fence all these times, eventually they're like saying, well, you know what? I think it's something to this thing.
Well, yes, because if they listen to my testimony here, is that I was able to get off metformin.
Yes.
And I am one of those people, I do not even want to take aspirin. Well, aspirin, not even want to take a Tylenol. So, and I really wanted to get that metformin out of my system, and I was successful with that. And I really have to say thank you both for walking with me, for being firm.
In love. It was in love.
My husband would hear me complain. I gotta eat this salad again. It's working for you. So, and I really appreciate having been on your program, have you encouraged us, and not just myself. I know you've working with several other people. I heard the testimonies of others and the successes. So I would like to say thank you, and God bless you for the work that you're doing. And Pops, I am ever so grateful to God for you, for restoring you so that you could share your experience and have people like myself develop the faith that yes, you can do it. If you exercise and make it a part of your lifestyle. And for me, it's lifestyle because I've got to do this in order to not be on medication.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me. It means a lot.
That's good, Esther.
About that today, I told her it feels good to be me.
Yes.
Because to be able to have something that I did to have this much value in the lives of others, it's something that can't be taken away.
Right.
If I leave this place today, and I pray that God still got more work for me to do, but if I leave this place today, my life is inextricably linked to the lives of so many people right now that we shared this with.
Of course.
And I
tell my daughters about you all. Even, of course, they know all about it. My sister, when I was on the Bod for God program, and my family's in Toronto, Canada. And so I talk about you all the time.
That's good.
That's sweet.
Wow.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Oh, Esther, thank you so much. Just for your transparency. It was never a dull moment with you, Esther. Even Bob forgot, there's never a dull moment. Like, anytime Esther was in class, we knew something was going down. So
you can say, if nothing else, you got me to. I still go through the bread aisle, but I'm not picking it up. No.
Well, that's progress, and I'll just tell you, we thank you. We're just humbled by just that you would trust us enough to, because it was an investment. This was an investment, and so there's a level of trust there, and so we're humbled really just by the opportunity to walk alongside you. We don't take this lightly. We recognize our
excuse me, I gotta.
We recognize our part in all of this and our influence, and very, very aware of the words that we say and how we say it and all these things. We know it. And sometimes the things we say are not, everybody don't like what we have to say, but as Pops reminds me all the time, this is serious business. This is about life and death, It's about life and death. So you can't always sugarcoat it,
It's true.
But we recognize we are dealing with human beings. And so, we try to have that balance.
Yeah.
Try to have that balance. But
you did. You both did. I kind of had one has got the whip, but the other one's got the carrot. I can know when I send you a message and I say, here's what I ate and here's what my blood sugar is. I know when Pops is going to call me. You need to talk to Rochelle.
And it's the same with everybody. It's the same with everybody. They already picked up on that, so it works. So again, thank you. Any parting words, Pops, Esther, before I close this out?
No, I think that's a good place to end. That's a good
Yeah.
place to end.
All I can say to anyone else that if you really are serious that you want to, even if you're pre-diabetic and you not want to be full-blown diabetic, this is a program that if you stick with it, you will be successful by the help of the Lord, because you don't do it on your own. I prayed on this.
Right.
I say, Lord, you know, sometimes I'm eating and I'm saying, Lord, please, this food that I'm eating, help it to sustain me. Help me to be doing the right thing here. Because this is a long-term effort. This is not do 3 months and you're done with it, you know?
Amen. So, say it again, Esther. Say it again. Say it again.
Yeah. It's lifelong lifestyle change.
Yeah.
It's
a lifelong way of being. Taking care of your health by the help of God, because as I said, not always do you feel like you in yourself you can do it, but be out there walking and I'm praying. I'm eating and I'm saying, Lord, help me with this, you know.
Sweet.
Praise God. Yeah. That's a good place to end. They heard that. This is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's about lifestyle. Just the first 90 days, just the beginning.
Right.
You know. So so thank you, Miss Esther, for agreeing to come on here and just for the whole, you know, experience. I mean, even way back, but I forgot. I mean, like this, you know, it's amazing, God and his
right.
You know, because it didn't start here. You know what I mean? This started way back in Bafrica. This relationship started with, you know, so several years ago. So praise God. That we're both.
May God continue to bless the work you're doing and bless those who participate and they can see the successes. And I have to say, I'm thankful to God that I encountered you for God and then this.
Yeah.
I said, God for God is where I started out, wanted to manage my blood sugar.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's where we will end, guys. This was a wonderful just experience, wonderful story. So grateful to Miss Esther and so excited for her and her entire family. And praise God for your husband. You know, he's been supportive. Even when Bob for God, you told us all the time how he just supported you and praise God for his results on the overflow too. On the overflow. So that's good stuff, guys. So we're gonna end here. If you're watching this, tune in. You know, you see the site scrolling down the ticker. You can click that link, set up an appointment if you want more information, or if you just want to jump in with both feet, you can do that too. You can sign up right on the website, RochelleTParks.com/sugar ain't sweet, because it ain't. It ain't as sweet as we think it is. It ain't sweet. It ain't sweet, guys. Sugar ain't sweet.
No.
That's all we have. Hey, this is Rochelle T. Parks. Thank you. I am your health motivator. And guess what? Whether you like it or not, we do not care. We can, we will, and we must continue to walk alongside you and help you to achieve optimal health. Have a great one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, before you go, I just want to let you know I am hosting a 7-day fruit and vegetable challenge on the 1st of the month. Guys, I do it every month. I've done it for the last 2 years. You say, why do I need that? Well, let me tell you what can happen in 7 days. In just 7 days, you can rid your body of the addiction to sugar, the addiction to salt. You can get rid of inflammation in the body. Guys, you can get mental clarity. You can sleep better. So many great things can happen in just 7 days. So don't delay any longer. Go ahead and click the link below and go ahead and sign up. We're getting started on the 1st, okay? I'll see you on the 1st.